Hey everyone, you're watching Anime with Jackson, and in this video I'm talking about problems with shonen anime. Now, shonen anime is a very well-loved portion of anime as a whole, and unfortunately, shonen anime and manga in general do have some common issues, and it's not just with the fighting ones, it's also with your slice of life like Nisekoi and Bakuman. So yeah, let's get to it. Problem number one. Now, in most shonen anime manga that I have seen, you get told about the end goal. You get told about the main character's goal, like with Naruto wanting to be Hokage and Luffy wanting to be King of the Pirates and finding the One Piece. So you get told about their goal. And that is really good because it gives you some form of direction. But the issue with that is how predictable everything then pans out, because since that you know where it's going to end, you also know kind of who's going to make it. I guess in some series is like who will stay alive and who won't. But also, while you haven't been told how they achieve this goal, you already know what's going to happen. So in that sense, while you go, whoa, okay, we've finally achieved our goal here. You've been told it in advance, and I don't know, for me with Naruto, it was kind of like, okay, well, he became Hokage. And series is like Assassination Classroom, where you're told about how it's going to end, that they're going to have to kill Kuro Sensei, or he was going to have to die somehow, or the whole planet was going to get blown up. But to me, because information of Kuro Sensei was going to have to die to save the planet was already given when he actually finally did die, while still was a memorable scene of that anime and manga, it didn't have the big effects that I guess I probably should have had, because I already knew what was going to happen. So yeah, being told what the end goal is can lead the story to be very predictable, and at the end not as interesting as probably what it should have been. Problem number two, the Shounen Path. Now, the Shounen Path is basically some variation of, and let's go with action, adventure, usual fighting series like Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Fairy Tail, your normal stuff of characters get introduced and then you train and then you take on some enemies, and through those enemies you get a little bit stronger as well, but then you take on the big bad boss of the arc, beat him, then you go back to train and you redo everything. You go right back from step one, because even in new arcs, new characters are introduced. So you meet new characters, you train, you fight, you get stronger, you fight the baddest guy of that arc, and then you go back again and start all over again. It's just a rinse and repeat process of that until they get to a stage of this is the final boss. Well, that is a great way of storytelling because it quite clearly works. It does also, like with problem number one, leave the storytelling really predictable, because you go, okay, well, we're at this stage of the arc, so this is going to happen, and where this is going to lead to fighting, and by the looks of it, it's going to be these people and these people fighting. With that, yeah, very predictable storytelling. And okay, well, predictable storytelling isn't exactly an end of the world issue. It is, in my opinion, a very big issue in anything that is story-wise, not just anime and manga, but also just novels and books in general and other TV shows in general. If it's predictable, the feeling, the emotion and everything that you get from it is different because you see it coming. But even shows that don't center around fighting, like Naruto and Fairy Tail and One Piece do suffer this problem. Shows like Bakuman, which is about making manga, it does face this issue in its own way of they practice to get better at drawing, or they're trying to make their series better. There is actually bad guys in that story arcs, not necessarily that they're going to physically fight against, but they're going to fight in popularity polls against. And eventually they get to a point where they can't beat anyone else because they are, in the series, the best. And when you become the best, you kind of can't get any better because there's no one else to prove yourself against, so it's hard to prove that you are better. And I guess with that, while it hasn't turned out quite as popular as the original series, Boruto was a great way of continuing the franchise, because with Naruto got to be the strongest ninja to have ever lived. And since that you couldn't prove his strength anymore, change the characters, make it his kids and everyone else's kids that are the center focus, while Naruto and his generation are of some form of side focus, and restart that Shounen Path right from the beginning. So in that sense, that is a way of countering, I guess, the Shounen Path, but it's only temporarily gonna work. Problem number 3. Character tropes. Now, character tropes may not just be a shonen anime issue, but anime in general, there's just that many character tropes, and you get like your yanderes, which all have very similar eyes and stuff like that, and character like having a yandere in your series, like, yeah, sweet. With shonen anime, there is very particular, I guess, tropes. Like you've got the old pervert man, so Jiraiya from Naruto, Master Roshi from Dragon Ball, as some examples. The crazy strong / father figure character, so characters like Minato or Gildarts. There is very particular shonen character tropes, and they seem to rinse and repeat of, you know what, we are doing a shonen series, so let's try and put in this character trope somewhere and that character trope somewhere else. Let's try and make them fit into our story, or put them in regardless of if they fit in or not. It is, in my opinion, rather annoying when you get so many anime and they do similar things, or similar, maybe not just character tropes, but just even genres and settings and whatnot, and asking to go, you know what, we are doing a shonen or a shoujo or a seinen anime or manga series, so we need to have these things. And okay, they do work, and because they're tropes is why that they work in those genres. But I guess at the same time, if you mix things up a bit, it would make your series a little bit more unique. Problem number 4. Character abilities. And this one goes partially with problem number 3. And what I mean by character abilities is that you can get through many different shonen anime characters that have similar abilities. And that can be going from saying that Natsu's Fire Dragon's Roar is similar to the Naruto series' Fireball Jutsu and whatnot. But even stuff like some techniques are similar in that, like in Black Clover, you got God, I can't remember his name at the moment. He uses lightning. He has lightning claws and talons, and that's how his magic works. And that would be similar to, well, I guess, lightning armor in Naruto, but also you got lightning magic in Fairy Tail already, and even moves like Iron Dragon Claw and Fire Dragon Claw, which I guess while they aren't lightning, it's also still a similar technique or ability. So some of these shows do feature quite similar abilities, and okay, yeah, I get it that it's hard to find something new under the sun, and that you're going to get some similarities between shows, but at times that there is a fair few similarities, and like with the tropes, maybe not as much thought has been put into these abilities of, you know what, can we think of something that's a tad bit different and unique? Or could we take something like Goku's instant transmission and change it up, like with Minato's flying Raijin, due to how him and the second Hokage go to their specific markers, and Minato's is also on his kunai as well, as he's able to put it on other people, so he can go straight to the person, but he needs to have had physical contact with them first. So that there was a way of using something, I guess, that has already been done, but mixing it up and making it unique. And I guess the same thing with Kakashi's and Obito's Kamui Mangekyo Sharingan ability of is a teleportation jutsu, but you teleport through a different dimension before you get to your new destination on. So yeah, there's lots of very similar abilities that maybe haven't been completely thought out to make them a bit more unique. Reason number 5, and reason number 5 is the rival character. Rival characters in shonen anime seem to be very similar, in my opinion. They seem to be some form of fighting genius, or genius in what they do if the anime isn't about really a fighting series. But also how they can be quite arrogant in how they go things. At times they can be very friendly, but they've still got that, you know what, I am better than you. I am better than you. You are worse than me. Bow down to me kind of attitude. And some anime don't really showcase that rival character quite as much, but others do, I guess. An example of a series that doesn't really have a rival character per se is One Piece. There's no Sasuke version or Vegeta version in there. So with that, I guess there's no real rival character as much as there's just lots of competition with other pirates. But even shows like Fairy Tail, where maybe even though there isn't a real distinctive rival character, okay, you can kind of say Gargiel can be, but also Grey can be, and that at times these rival characters seem to have some form of natural affinity that goes against the main character. There's this form of to and fro, and that the rival character is just this massive step that the main character has to get over. Lots of rival characters also tend to have some form of dark or black hair. Strangely, it almost seems to be like, you know what, rival character, black, brown hair, that there is a must. It makes them look like they are the rival character. But also they really tend to hate losing, and they, I guess going along with me mentioning Sasuke and Vegeta, they seem to have some form of anger management issues, or just issues in general, that some of these rival characters just seem to have issues, whether that be anger management or some other form of issues. Problem number 6, and this is the last problem, by the way, of there's just lots of competition with shonen anime and manga. There's lots of it coming out, there's lots of it being done, there's lots of it that have already been done, and because there's so much shonen anime and manga, because shonen is just a big major part in the anime and manga industry, of they just seem to be some of the most popular series done, is that while a challenge is good and having competition is good, maybe there is too much of it that it's just hard for there to be some form of originality in the shonen genre. And even though that this is I guess a small problem and not the most important problem, I guess, is that it's still a problem that something could be done with. Let me know in the comment section below of, do you reckon there's any other problems in the shonen genre of anime and manga that I didn't touch up on? Be interesting to see what other people think. And also maybe what you think of what I mentioned in this video. But thank you all for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like or comment down in the comment section below. If you want to see more content by me, then check out my channel. You might find another video that you like the look of. Or even consider subscribing to me. It'll be a great help to me, and you get to stay up to date when I upload more content. Again, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time in the next video. See ya!